Do you feel overwhelmed in sales? There are so many things to do, and everybody's keep telling you that there are better trends, better technologies, better ways to get clients. And sometimes just sit there and I just feel completely overwhelmed by all the choices out there and all the stuff you have to get done to go after big clients. Hey, this is your challenge. Stay tuned. I'm going to share with you 5 different strategies that you can do to really feel a little bit better in terms of prioritizing, getting focused with getting big clients. Hi, this is Melinda. I'm the founder of Women Making Big Sales. The moment I am recording this videos, we're in this holiday season. Tons of things to do, getting gifts for your families and friends, going to parties, and at the same time still managing a shorter month for your business. It's a lot of things to do. I am overwhelmed. I've got 2 kids going on. I'm still trying to get their gifts. So I thought that I'd do a live video about feeling overwhelmed in sales and how you deal with that. And if you're watching this on Facebook or even on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe because here is where we share all the tips and strategies about going after big clients. I've been doing this for 16 years. Every single day, I talk to big executives, founders of the companies, and I want to share with you how I get to do this, how I'm able to how I'm able to sell to those really hard to reach decision makers. Because hey, I'm just a mom of 2 boys. English is not even my first language, so I want to share with you how I get it done. Not like those people with a lot of contacts, connections, or huge softwares. We're going to do it the real way, with as an entrepreneur with limited budgets, limited time and resources, and how we sell to those hard to reach big clients. So let's talk about feeling overwhelmed in sales. That is a lot of times the first time when I meet with entrepreneurs for the first time, they feel overwhelmed because, and mostly because of all the things that they have to do. A lot of times they're thinking about, hey, I've got my website to set up and I still need to do all the networking events and I got to have some kind of social media presence, either LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all these things. And they feel quite overwhelmed because they have a business to deal with and they have to also take care of their business. And that is really the first thing. The first strategy to overcome feeling overwhelmed is prioritize. Yeah, we know that we have to prioritize, but I want you to think of it in 2 very important factors: urgency and importance. When you're trying to prioritize all the important things you have to do, write it down on a piece of paper. You could use your task list. If you're a huge planner, you like to use those physical planner. Write it down on your planner, all the tasks or ideas, all the ideas you like to do, or the tasks that you have to accomplish. If you like to put it on your smartphone, find a good task list, or Evernote. Evernote is great in terms of organizing your thoughts. So put it down. But really, once a week, look at the list of tasks that you have to do, but really think closely in terms of the urgency and importance of these tasks. Urgency, if some tasks are extremely urgent and important to your business, pretty straightforward. You know that you have to start doing those right away. Most likely you are already dealing with it right away. But things get a little bit grayish or not as clear when you're dealing with things that are urgent but not as important. So what are the things that are urgent but not important? Sometimes it could be, hey, you got an email from an old colleague of yours and you thought, hey, it'd be great to connect with this person. And the guy said, hey, let's plan a party. Let's do it together. Invite all the old colleagues and let's plan a party for this Friday. It might seem like it's something that's really urgent, but you will probably want to think about it. Ask yourself whether it is important to do, right? So is it really, really important for your business to connect with these old colleagues? How important are these tasks, even though they seem urgent because there's a time put in it. So in that case, maybe you can reply to this friend and say, hey, I'd be very happy to help organizing it, but I have a deadline. I have a project coming up. Why don't you just do it? Go ahead and plan it and then send me the details and I'll see if I can respond to it. So that's how you prioritize. A lot of people prioritize things based on the urgency, and they think it's urgent because somebody put a time limit, a deadline to it. But keep in mind about the importance. And another thing is that there are some tasks, they are very, very, very important, but they are not as urgent. What are the tasks that are extremely important but not as urgent? Not urgent because sometimes we don't put a deadline to it. We don't put expiration date on it, and but they're very important to our business. When it comes to sales, it's about contacting your prospects or finding new leads, and that's usually activities that a lot of entrepreneurs fail to do or follow up and do it all the time because there's no time to it. Those prospective clients, they're not writing back to us, or they're not writing to us say, hey, I absolutely need to talk to you today. No, that's not the case. They're over there. You could do it today. You could do it tomorrow. You could connect with them the week afterwards. You could connect with them 1 month or 2 months from now on. And but at the same time, these are extremely important to your business, even though they don't seem urgent from time to time, but they are extremely important. And that is very important for your business to really keep in mind of those tasks that are important, but might not seem as urgent, and how you should prioritize them. And one way to do it is that put a time limit to it. Tell yourself, and that's what, when we work with small entrepreneurs, when I work one-on-one with entrepreneurs and how I show them how to sell to big companies, the most important thing is the accountability. Keep yourself accountable in terms of the number of prospects you talk to every single week. The reality is that if you want to sell to big clients, you need a qualified, at least 20, 30 well-qualified leads or prospects that you keep nurturing relationship with. And you need at least 10 contacts to close that deals. So when you put it on a very clear, for example, Excel sheet or whatever CRM system you use, client relationship management system you use, you know that, hey, do I really have those 20, 30 qualified prospects? Are they really, really qualified? Ask yourself, be honest with yourself. And at the same time, how often do I nurture a relationship with them? How often do I talk to these people? And those, make sure that you always follow up and put it on a task list in terms of when you're going to follow up. Don't just say that I am going to follow up with one prospect. When are you going to follow up with that prospect? Put a time to it. Make it urgent so that make it become a very important and urgent activity. And then be very, very careful with all those tasks that are not urgent, but not important either. And a lot of times we will spend time doing them just because we want to seem busy. So an example of things that might not be urgent or important is that I always tell people, yeah, you might say that you need social media profile, but if you don't have prospects there, social media profile will not help you sell. So if you already have LinkedIn profile, sometimes it's not absolutely necessary to have Twitter as well or Facebook as well. So you have to realize that, hey, what are the tasks that are most urgent for my business, but most important for my business? And there's nothing more important than talking to your clients. And I want to stress that you could have your website, you could have your brochure, you can have your social media profile, but there's nothing more important, just talking and building relationship with your prospective clients. So this is the first thing to overcome the sense of feeling overwhelmed in sales is prioritize all your tasks. Put them down on a piece of paper, on your planner, or on Evernote, your task list. Once a week, whatever idea you have, just put them down. And I like to do it either Monday morning or Sunday evening. Look through those tasks, and then the most urgent and most important tasks, I would actually book meetings and schedule them on my calendar. So I already allocate time to do those. When things are on on the list of task lists to do, they are not going to get done. But if you schedule time, you've actually scheduled time to get them done, and that's how you accomplish them. And that's how you can feel that, how you enjoy that feeling of, checking those task lists off your list. So that's the first thing, I've prioritized. And the second thing, which is an extremely important and mental shift when it comes to sales, is focus on what you can control. I know it feels overwhelming sometimes when you when you see the number, you don't get sales, especially if you see month over month and you do not see your sales coming in. You get nervous. You're like, wow, am I going to get my order? But the most important thing when it comes to sales is focus on what you can control, which are the activities. So focus on your marketing and sales activities and keep yourself motivated. And a lot of times, especially when you're just starting to sell to big companies, I always tell people, give yourself about 3 months of time, and you'll know that there's a lot of preparation involved, but you're not going to see a lot of results until 3 months from now on, or sometimes even 6 months if you're selling really complex service. So tell yourself that the most important thing you can control is your action. So back to what we talked about, the task list. Focus on the activities that are very important to your business and continue doing them. And sometimes reward yourself for completing those activities. I remember when I just started selling, I did a lot of cold calling. And I personally love chocolate. So every time I've finished 10 cold calls, 20 cold calls, whatever the quota I have for the day, I give myself a little piece of chocolate just to, cheer myself up, feel a little bit better. I don't do as many cold calls anymore, but I always focus on the activities. For me, it's the activities. What are the activities that I have to do to help me accomplish this, to help me reach my goals? How many people am I going to be talking to? How many people am I going to be building relationships? And where do I find my super connectors? So focus on your activities and stop thinking about yourselves now, but evaluate your performance based on how many conversations you've talked to, how qualified your leads are. Are they the leads that are ready to buy from you, that have the potential to pay for your service? Focus on this. Focus on that funnel. And then you'll feel less overwhelmed. And, reward yourself when you have reached certain marketing activity goals. Reward yourself and, pat on your shoulder. Sometimes women, especially women, we're very harsh on ourselves. So, we said, hey, even though I did so much work, but I didn't get my sales, it will come. A lot of times you're just seeding and you're waiting for the opportunity to mature and to respond to you. So that's really the second thing. And the third strategy I really want to share with you is having that reasonable expectation. It ties in a little bit to focusing on what you can control. The tip number 2 is that you got to have a reasonable expectation. If you just started selling to big companies, do not expect to start closing sales 3 months from now on. Talk to people in your industry and ask them, what are usually the turnaround time to close a deal? Or is there any time, average time to close a deal within that industry? But have that reasonable expectation. And a lot of times, especially at the beginning, you're going to get a lot of objections, which are amazing. Objections are great. Why are they great? Because objections are amazing opportunities for you to know your prospects better. So don't be afraid that when you get no's, especially at the beginning of your sales relationship, that is fine. Analyze it. Analyze it and try to understand why your prospect is saying no to you. And that's why I really want to share with you one very important thing is that you have to have that reasonable expectation, knowing, prepare. Sometimes it's about preparing for the worst, knowing that, hey, I am going to get no's from this. I want to close my sales, but I will be hearing no's until I close my sales. And that is fine. Make peace with this fact. And that, be more prepared and manage your expectation is going to help you feel less overwhelmed in sales. It's going to make you feel like, okay, I know what to expect, but I am focusing on what I can control, which are the sales activities. And I am prioritize my time based on the most important thing. So that's really the tip number 3, reasonable expectation. So we've already talked about 3 tips. Prioritize, focus on what you can control, and the number 3 is reasonable expectation. Number 4 is ask for help. I always tell people life is too short to be selling alone. It is true. I mean, when you're selling by yourself as an entrepreneur, it can be very lonely. I get it. A lot of entrepreneurs, you work from home and you're trying to build this empire. But, it could be a very lonely journey. And when it's lonely, that's when you feel overwhelmed and you start to have a lot of negative voices in your head. There's no way I can make it. Why would people want to buy from me? I do not deserve it. I am not good enough. And all those negative voices would come. And a lot of times it's simply because, you're isolated and you didn't get a chance to connect with others and understand that, hey, it's only a normal part of this whole sales journey. So I would really encourage you to go out. There are so many groups out there, local groups, meaning there's a lot of meetup groups and a lot of networking groups for entrepreneurs that you could connect with. Or online, LinkedIn got great LinkedIn groups. Women Making Big Sales here. We're about to have a Facebook groups as well. So come out and talk to people about it. Be part of the Facebook group and share your journey. Tell people what's it's like, and understand that you are not alone. This is simply a part of the journey. The most important thing is try to understand why you're getting no's, why you're not getting response, and how to pick brains of other people, brainstorm with other people, discuss with other people. I am often talk to a very small group of female entrepreneurs that I respect tremendously. They're doing lots of amazing things, and I have so much respect and I get so much inspirations from these people. And that's great, because when time's tough and it happens, sometimes you have those bad days where you do a lot of activities and you do not get any yeses. It is going to happen. But it's also important to recognize that, hey, you're not alone. And it's also important to recognize that, hey, I personally, Melinda Chen, I've done 5,000 cold calls, but it also allowed me to reach to where I am, over $35-40 million in sales over the past 6 years. So that is amazing. That's important for you to recognize. Hey, somebody's going to get lots of no's, but they are getting the results. So don't sell by yourself. Don't sell alone. It's too hard. Why do it? Life's too short. Share the challenges or your celebrations with others, and you are going to get stronger because you're going to get inspirations from others. You're going to get lessons and motivations from others. So go out and ask for help, and that is going to help you feel less overwhelmed. And the last thing, it's more a side note, and I want to let you know that you don't have to compare with others. I think in today's world, especially on social media, there's so many people shouting and promising or exclaiming their results and what they've accomplished. But everybody is different. Just because you are not there yet doesn't mean that you will not be. So don't compare with others. Limit your time on social media and really focus on the group that are supportive to you, that would really answer your challenges, but at the same time would celebrate your successes. So pick the group of people you're going to be part of, and don't compare with others or people that you don't know what happens behind the door. You don't know how they're doing. I mean, I always talk about selling to big companies, but it's challenging. I've got two business going on and I've got my kids going on. I mean, Christmas shopping. I mean, the moment I'm recording right now, today is 22nd. December 22nd. I'm recording this video on December 22nd, and I have not even finished my Christmas shopping. So life is hectic. Sometimes we don't have full control over it, and it is fine. So you don't have to compare yourself with others. So these are the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you about feeling overwhelmed in sales, but in fact in business, in life. The first, remember to prioritize. Pay close attention on activities that are important to you, and especially activities that are important but sometimes might not seem urgent. Pay close attention to those and try to bump them up and make them more urgent to you. Because in the long run, those are the activities that are going to give you the most rewards. And the second tip, focus on what you can control, especially in sales. Always focus on the activities. How many conversations are you having with your prospective clients? How many connections you've built? How many leads have you obtained? And really focus on the activities and forget about the sales results for once in a while. You will need the sales results. You will need to evaluate that, but not every single day. Maybe once a month. So don't worry about those. Focus on your activities. Focus on what you can control. And tip number 3, have reasonable expectations. Make sure that don't overestimate how much sales you're going to do within a short period of time. Take your time. All great things in life takes time to accomplish. It's just the way it is. It's a simple fundamental principle. You are building an empire, and it will take time for you to really, really understand your clients and connect with them in a meaningful way. So have reasonable expectations. And number 4, ask for help. Be part of a community. We are going to launch Facebook group in 2017. So if you are watching this and if you watch this in 2017, then look us up. Try to join our Facebook groups. Be part of this community. And we'll talk to you. We'll be there with you. And we'll tell you that, hey, everybody's going through similar sales experience. We'll share the latest sales tips with you. We'll share with you all the strategy that's worked for us. So be part of the community and ask for help. Ask for feedback. And number 5 is stop comparing with others. It just does not help. So I hope this is useful for you guys. I hope this would help you feel less overwhelmed in sales. So 2017, we have so much excitement stuff, so many exciting stuff going on. We really want to create this community to give you all the tools you need to help you go after those hard to reach clients, because those clients are going to transform your business. Those clients are going to take you from a solopreneur to a real profitable business, to build a team of 5-10 people, whatever your dream is. And that's what we're going to try to do here. We're going to try to help you sell to big companies. All right. If you have any questions, connect with me either on Facebook, send me a message on YouTube, whatever it is. I am always here to answer any questions you have. I'm excited and passionate about female businesses. I mean, I've got clients who are male as well, but I love talking about sales. So connect with me. And just let me know how you're doing. I would love to hear any challenges or even success stories with you. And just be warned, I get really excited when I hear success stories. I'm like, yeah, another person making big sales. So I want to see that. Well, thank you very much. And I think I might do another video before the end of 2016. We'll see. But if I don't talk to you, then we'll talk again in 2017. Bye.